So today we have a very, very interesting scenario and situation to talk about. Something that I think a lot of people don't understand and that I never really understood until recently is, in my position where I've had some success on YouTube and in content creation and Twitter and stuff over the last couple of years. I'm getting my name out there more. My content's getting out there more. Certain people, really enjoy my stuff and really like me and speak good about me. But there is a ton of people that, know about me, don't like my content, whatever, and speak bad about me. And, when it's to me on my videos, they get hate or my tweets get hate or whatever, that's one thing. I get to see what people are saying. I get to see their feedback. But also now I'm to the point where I'm not like insanely big or anything like that, but I'm, big enough to the point where people say stuff not to me. People talk about me, behind my back, but like people talk about me on different Discords. People talk about me on Reddits, and apparently people talk about me on streams now too. And it's a super, super weird feeling. And it's definitely something that I'm still getting used to. And it definitely takes a big adjustment, especially when, if it's positive, like that's awesome. But when it's negative, it still like makes you feel some type of way. It still doesn't feel great. It's still a little bit weird. It's still very, very new to me. But apparently Parth's been talking a little bit of crap. And, we have some stuff to talk about because I have a lot to say about it, obviously. But this should be interesting. This should be entertaining. This should be a fun video. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Hey, help me out. We need some help and assistance right now. And subscribe to stay up to date on my latest content. We're closing in on 10,000 subs. That'd be awesome to help, hit that by the end of the year. Turn my day around. But with that being said, let's get right into this. So I was just at home, minding my own business, chilling, and then out of nowhere, Pretty on Ice, this is my boy, tweeted at me. He said, "I am Germ bruh, Parth with the germ disrespect." And apparently, Parth was streaming, and he has this tier list where he rates all the LCS, preseason tier list that people have made. He says S tier is his own tier list of the tier list, which okay, that's a funny joke, whatever. A tier, he has nobody. And then B tier, he has Cadril and Draco. So he's, pretty much flat out saying no tier list is great, or even no tier list is good. I don't really know what you'd consider B tier, if it's like average, okay, is that above average, whatever. But he's saying Cadril and Draco. It's like, two of the most popular, well-respected names in like content creation, casting, analyzing, and all this stuff. Maybe not so much Dracos, but like Cadril's, really, really well liked and everything. That's a B tier. And then C tier is their RNG tier list. Cadril and Dracos took their tier list and they took all the teams that were like, we're not really sure. Maybe this could go good. Maybe this could go bad. Who knows which way it's going to break. And they flipped a coin and then they rated it that way. He has that in C tier, which is, I assume, I don't know this for sure, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but I'm assuming that's meant to be disrespectful to everyone below it, meaning like, hey, their like analysis and assumption of the teams plus flipping a coin is still better than what you guys are doing. And like, that's just very, very funny. In my opinion, again, I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming it's supposed to be very, very BM, and that's just hilarious to me. Whatever. D tier, he has Tim's list, and in this video they're talking about Tim Sevenheisen's power rankings or whatever, and again, that's very, very weird to me. Tim is a well-respected guy, for the most part in the League of Legends community. Not everyone agrees with all of his takes. Not everyone thinks he's correct about everything. Not everyone, agrees with his analysis of situations or whatever, but this guy is a very, very hard worker. He puts a ton of time, effort, analysis into everything he does. Stats and breakdowns and making content on his channel and his website and doing all this stuff and doing stuff on Travis's channel. He's an overall positive for the scene in so many ways. Again, whether you like him, hate him, like his content, agree with his takes, whatever, understanding that he spends a lot of time and effort and does a great job and overall does something that's very, very good for the community. To have that in D tier, again, is super weird. And then we get to the F tier, where I am at. Now, it's me and League on Lock, and I think they have me above League on Lock. I don't know if these tiers are in, order of who's actually better or not, but it looks like I'm better than League on Lock. Hopefully I'm better than League on Lock, and I'm not in god-awful tier. And again, this is just super, super weird to me. So we'll actually go over what Parth had to say, because he does talk about me for a second, and it's actually really, really quiet. Again, interesting, he's, judging content creation, all this stuff when he can't even, set up his stream at like a level that is hearable. Like, this is volume all the way up on my, stuff. And I don't know. It's still really, really hard to hear, but we'll see if we can actually hear him. I hope I have the video at the right point. Might have to skip around a little bit, but here's what he had to say about my tier list, which, like, you know, is fine. And in the comments, somebody here says Germ F tier, and then, you know, I don't know. It was funny, but let's see what he had to say.
Or he runs it or something, but this was an interesting tier list for me. So anyway, he got a D for that one.
What's god awful tier?
So
I gotta skip ahead a little bit. I don't even know if you guys can hear it.
Or interesting. Or even,
Okay, here it is.
This is a guy called Germ, and I swear the entire time he used like 3 words to describe teams and players. They were either good or interesting, or I even forget the third word. They were literally 3 adjectives the entire time. And then League Unlock was just...
So that's all he had to say. You know, at the end, it's not like he absolutely roasted me or obliterated me or whatever. You know, maybe he's saying I use some repetitive terms or whatever. And, like, that's totally fine. Honestly, I haven't watched the video back, and I'm not going to do it just because, you know, Parth said this. I would believe if I use some repetitive terms. You know, that's a very, very common thing that people do, especially when they're, you know, new to making videos or public speaking or whatever. And, you know, I don't go back and do a ton of editing to my videos. They're just kind of off the top of the head. And in a video like that, I'm more focused about just constructing my tier list. You know, I'm not going super, super in-depth into analysis and all that stuff, because that's not my channel. That's not what I do here. That's not what people come to me for. And when you look at other tier lists, like I think Tim's tier list, I don't know this for sure, but I know in the past, Tim's made a lot of longer videos, like 30, 45-minute, hour-long videos. Cadril and Draco's tier list was like 36 minutes, and I watched parts of that. They don't do any insane kind of analysis or anything like that. My channel is about creating discussions, starting discussions, getting my thoughts and opinions out. And the point of that video was a tier list, so I made my tier list. And then starting discussion, getting content going, getting people talking, getting your tier list, getting, you know, what you think I'm right and wrong about, not making an hour-long, super in-depth analytical thing. And, like, I get why Parth could maybe want to do that. You know, he's a general manager. He's a really smart, well-educated guy who, you know, probably loves numbers and analytics and diving deep into all that stuff. But Parth is not the average League of Legends fan. You know, I was telling this to Zers that, like, the average League of Legends fan is a two-head guy who does no analysis, no, you know, deep diving into anything. He wants to see what your tier list looks like, and he wants to flame you and let you know what his tier list is. So, from my perspective, as a YouTube content creator, I'm trying to make what I think is going to be the most interesting and engaging, but also quick and concise YouTube video. And I think I do a good job of that. Now, am I, like, super, super insanely proud of my tier list? Do I think, like, oh, this tier list is so good, you shouldn't shit on it, whatever? Like, no. I totally get how there could be criticism. I totally get how it could be better. But also understanding that I am somebody that posts 700 videos a year. I'm somebody that works a full-time job. I'm somebody that also has a life outside of things. And to get content out, yeah, I am on a little bit of an expedited timeline. I do a little bit, you know, less per goals. Now, again, maybe it's not exactly what Parth believes in or whatever, or what he likes, but it is still super, super weird to see him just outwardly shitting on other content creators. Like, again, whatever he thinks about me, at the end of the day, I don't really care. It doesn't matter. Again, it's weird to hear and see people talking about you, and apparently they watched my tier list on stream, and apparently, you know, just flame the heck out of it. I don't know. I'm not going to watch that. I don't need to. I don't really want to. I don't need, you know, that extra negativity and stuff. But this is super, super weird. Coming from someone in his perspective, you know, this is Omega punching down. This is the general manager, or I don't know what his title is these days. You know, at one point he was a general manager or whatever of, you know, the biggest esports organization, you know, approaching a $1 billion company, talking about a YouTuber with 9,000 subscribers. And again, not only me, but Tim, a guy who puts a ton of time, effort, energy into everything he does and growing the community. And again, shitting on that work is super, super weird to me. Again, especially when you are an organization and a team that, you know, you want to have fans. You're supposed to be positive. You're supposed to be interacting with the community. What I do helps the LCS. You know, me making content helps TSM, helps the LCS, helps grow this whole ecosystem. What Tim does helps that out. What League Unlock does helps that out. Now, you know, again, whether you like Tim or like League Unlock or like any of these other people, to just outwardly be shitting on people like that and saying it's worse than an RNG tier list is super, super weird to me. And I get it. You know, he has fair criticism of saying I didn't go super in-depth in analysis or anything like that. But again, understanding that that is a very, very deliberate decision. It's not what I do. It's not my thing. It's not what people come to my videos for. And it's not, in my opinion, what is the most broad reaching. That is not what the average person comes to see or wants to see or whatever, especially, you know, in a YouTube video format. people want shorter, more concise stuff. And you know, is there a balance in there between going more in depth than I did and, you know, still having a more concise and interesting video than a 40-minute video posted by Cadril, which was probably like a stream highlight or, you know, an hour-long thing that Tim's doing? Yes, absolutely. And I'm always working on, you know, trying to get better and trying to improve and everything like that. But again, this was just super, super weird to see. And in my opinion, this does further cement, you know, my already deteriorating relationship with TSM and the things that they're doing and the way that they conduct themselves in their business. And again, this just pushes me further and further away from the organization. And yeah, so I guess in some ways, you know, it's good. In some ways, I'm fine with it. But yeah, my job and what I aim to do every day is to start discussions, get content out, get people talking, help to grow the League of Legends scene in the way that I best can. I'm not an analyst. I'm not going to be able to do that. That's not where I'm going to fit into this whole puzzle, where I'm going to fit into this whole ecosystem. But I think I still play a valuable part, you know, again, of being someone who can start conversations, who can get that stuff out. I think that there's very, very few people in the scene that have been harder working than me, that have been more consistent than me, or, you know, that have really done more for the scene over the past year. Now, yes, there's people that get more views and all that, but those are people who have been around for longer. Nobody who's come up in the past year, you know, is doing what I'm doing. So I find value in what I'm doing. I like what I'm doing. I thought this was very, very weird by Parth, you know, just straight up shitting on people for pretty much no reason. And yeah, you know, they had like 100 viewers on stream. So, you know, 2 guys in the chat were like, oh, ha ha ha, I hate Germ too. You know, like, that's fine. If those guys, you know, on there or whatever, that's totally okay. There are still some awesome, amazing people at TSM. And I'm not saying Parth's not awesome, but I am saying, you know, he's going to go around shitting on people. That's not great for TSM. That's not a great look for their organization, their brand, building a fan base, whatever. And yeah, you know, at the end of the day, I'm sure he doesn't care, but, you know, obviously people have their own opinions about him. And, you know, if we want to make a GM tier list or, you know, roster building tier list or whatever, super, super funny. But again, in some ways I am glad and happy about this because it does give me another reason to not like TSM because I already didn't like the direction the organization was heading in the first place. And to me, super, super weird for somebody in Parth's position and following and, you know, like he has a ton of money. He's famous, popular, very, very successful. To be punching down so far is a bad look. And, you know, that's not something that I want to, you know, be a part of or something that I agree with. We should be building people up. You know, the rising tide lifts all boats. If I'm successful, people below me are successful, people are above me are successful. Like I said, I don't agree with everything Tim says. I don't agree with how he does his content, you know, always. I don't agree with all his lists, but I support him and I think he does an amazing job. I think he does a great job for the league scene. So, you know, I'm not going to go around saying that he's F tier or worse than a coin flip tier or anything like that. So yeah, I don't know. Kind of interesting. I don't know exactly how to feel about this. Like I said, it's just kind of unnecessary negativity, something I'm largely trying to stay away from. But yeah, this is something now new that I have to deal with. And I'm still trying to figure out how to exactly deal with that. You know, it comes with time. It comes with experience for sure. But yeah, this is part of my life now. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about this whole situation? Do you agree with Parth? Am I F tier? Do you not? I mean, if you do agree, then that's totally fine. Like I said, I'm all for constructive feedback and everything, but also understanding, you know, dynamics and where people are coming from and all that. And also understanding that my goal is different than other people's, and just because it's not necessarily for you doesn't mean it's, you know, for anyone. But definitely subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. That'd be awesome. With that being said, hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. Peace.